Welcome to our annual meeting of the Minnesota State High School Baseball Coaches Association. We are in unprecedented times and new situations here, so this is our very first ever virtual meeting that we're doing. And we're glad that you're taking a look and joining us here today, or whenever. So I am your new president, Ryan Holmgren from Elk River High School. Took over the president duties of our organization here in October, and excited to be working not only with the group that we have within our advisory board, but working for every one of you as well. So looking forward to a great spring here after we've dealt with some pretty crazy things over the last 10 months or so. So without further ado, let's get into this thing. Little overview of the agenda, the things I want to talk about here with you today. Just give you a little welcome overview and a little reflection to start with here. We'll review our executive board members, so kind of see where the changes have been made over the course of the last few months with a few positions. We'll get an All-Star Series update from Don Gawreluk. He's going to be talking to you about a few things regarding the All-Star Series update as well. I'll go through the award winners for 2020 with you after that, talk about some positive things, and then we'll get into some news and notes and some different tidbits about the upcoming season that you'll probably want to know, may or may not already know. And then we'll finish it up talking about just some communication things, some questions, some reminders, and we'll give you some final thoughts, and we'll be done. So that's what we have to look forward to. So let's get going. When I first started putting this presentation together, obviously the focus and why we meet when we hold this meeting just about every year is to focus on the upcoming season and what's going on. But I felt like we needed to start by just doing a little reflection on what we've all been through in the last 10 months or so. The 2020 season was, as I said before, unprecedented, and something that I don't think anybody ever realized who does what we do thought we'd ever have to deal with. And so I thought of, there's some things there that I think maybe we just need to touch on a little bit as we start this. And when I thought about kind of reflecting on what we've been through as we're kind of getting ready to put that in the past and move forward into the future, the one word that kept sticking out to me was the word sacrifice. That's a big word in our game, sacrifice. And I think there was a lot of sacrifice that nobody expected in what should have been our last season within the last 10 months. Players obviously sacrificed a ton, especially our seniors of 2020. Coaches like yourselves, I know we sacrificed quite a bit. Our parents of our players are communities as well. We have so many communities within our state that support and really love the game of baseball, especially at the high school level as well. So there's a lot of sacrifice that went on. What I want to tell you about that is, as frustrating as it may have been at times, the sacrifice has not gone unnoticed. We had a few organizations that did some pretty incredible things to recognize the sacrifices that were made. The high school league had some very nice kind of tributes and things like that they did through social media and things like that. A lot of people turning their lights on for their seniors and stuff this spring, whether it was on football fields or baseball fields or just even scoreboards and things like that. The St. Paul Saints organization stepped up and did an amazing thing for our seniors this summer when they hosted their senior salute tournament and gave our seniors a chance to play with their friends and their teammates and their classmates at least one more time in their school uniforms and things like that. They hosted it all at CHS Field, which everyone knows is a great facility as well. And it was a tremendous opportunity for those kids who, again, had sacrificed so much. Special recognition goes out to New Prague for winning that thing. That was pretty cool as well. They had an amazing group of seniors there in their class of 2020, and it was just their group of seniors. A lot of other communities combined, and some conferences and western and southern Minnesota and northern Minnesota combined as well. But New Prague came out of it as the champions of that. So congratulations to them as well. But the Saints did a great job, and we were incredibly thankful for to them for what they did for our kids, for our seniors of 2020. All right. Last thing I will say on this, again, kind of reflecting on what we went through. I think as coaches, we gained a lot of knowledge and we gained some new perspectives on what we do and why we do it. And I think those are the types of things I know for myself. I know for a lot of other coaches that I talk to. Those are the types of things that are kind of coming to the forefront now as we get ready to actually start a season. Knowing what we went through, knowing the things that were sacrificed, knowing how quickly these things that we love, the game of baseball and coaching our guys and just being out there and all the things that go into it, how quickly that can be taken away from us and how we have to deal with that, how we have to deal with, leading young men through something like that. So I think we gained a lot of knowledge as coaches. I think we gained some new perspectives, and I think that's ultimately going to make everybody better. And definitely make the 2021 season better. So I will leave it at that. Let's get into this meeting. I'm excited to get things going this year, and it's time to leave 2020 in the past. So here we go. All right, I'll start with the overview of our officers and our board members for 2020. If you remember, we kind of changed some things around about a year and a half ago with how our organization was set up with roles and responsibilities. Some positions were created to handle some of the duties left by a retirement of John Wilkins. We did some other things to kind of help grow and shape our organization with an idea for the future and what was needed. So took this right off of our website. When you go onto our website, you look for people to contact or you look at who's in charge, this is what you're going to see. Okay. I'll just run down the list real quick. Our executive director, again, is the remarkable Craig Anderson. He does a great job kind of overseeing all things Minnesota State High School Baseball Coaches Association related. He's been an incredible help for myself, assuming this new role as president. But he's just he's a voice of many talents and great wisdom, and we're really lucky to have him there. Our associate executive director now is Don Gawreluk. He assumes that position from Troy Erdahl because Troy was just elected as our second vice president. Don jumps into that position, a position very fitting for him and all the great things he does for our organization as well. Fall clinic director is Mark Downey. Mark started with this position last year, and when we talked about doing a virtual clinic like we're doing right now, Mark took on the challenge, and he has done an unbelievable job, along with a couple other people, Don and Paul Twenge, and a couple other people, putting what we're doing right now together. And so Mark's leadership in that aspect of putting this together has been invaluable. Our junior showcase director, again, is Tink Larson. Our secretary, treasurer, and our webmaster, Todd Schraker, does a great job with that, handles all of a lot of the communication stuff through our website, handles all of our budgetary issues as well. Of course, your president is yours truly, Ryan Holmgren, serving in that role, along with our first vice president, second vice president this year and the following year. First vice president is Dean Schwartz. He moves up into the first vice president role, and second vice president role now is Troy Erdahl. All right, past president Rick Zolner. We have to mention him too. Rick's leadership through what we went through last year and his leadership over the last 2 years, incredibly thankful for the hard work and the dedication that Rick put into our organization and put into baseball in the state of Minnesota. And just wanted to make sure that we mention his name and thank him again publicly for everything that he did. Rick's an incredible guy and really served in this role in a very admirable way. Our historian, of course, I don't think it should be anybody other than Coach Larson. He seems to know everything about everything down there. He does a great job with the history and the record books and all that stuff that he's got, and the communication as well. If you've never met Tink personally, I'm sure you've probably gotten an email from him at least. So we'll talk more about that later. Our All-Star Series director is Don Gawreluk. He's going to be with us in just a second here to give us some updates on the All-Star Series. Our display committee chairman and and founder and everything else when it comes to display committee is the legendary Dale Welter, the Chaska legend himself. Our Hall of Fame banquet coordinator is Tink Larson, awards coordinator Al Omdahl, and our legal counsel, if we ever needed, is Eric Rever. So there you go. There's our board and the people who are working for you. So with that, we're going to get into a little All-Star Series update. We've got Don Gawreluk that's going to jump in here and share some things about what we can expect from the All-Star Series here in 2021.
Thank you, Ryan, and congratulations on being our new president. We're thrilled to have you aboard, and I know you'll do a great job. We have had a lot of discussions for our 2021 Play Ball Minnesota All-Star Series. That's brought to you by Cambria and Business Impact Group, or BIG. Our 2021 All-Star Series is something that we want to do, and we voted to make it happen. There were 3 models that we had looked at, and I'll let you know what we chose here in a second. But first option that we had was the traditional idea of we get together Wednesday night with the coaches. Thursday is a practice day and a get-to-know-you day, capped off with a wonderful banquet at Canterbury Park that Mr. Denny Laufenberger has been just so incredible on coordinating. And then Friday morning, we would have our service projects where we would go to Feed My Starving Children or run a youth clinic at Chaska Athletic. Or we'd head to the Miracle League ballpark in Minnetonka and help or organize and run a game, which is always something we look forward to. Then game time would start about 12:30, and it'd be games the rest of the weekend, capping with our championship game on Saturday night. What that traditional model had done for us was obviously give kids lots of time to be able to get to know one another, stay in the hotel, talk baseball, hang out, and just build relationships and have a great time. And that's what we've done for many, many years. And unfortunately last year we weren't able to do anything. But option 2 was a modified series, Friday and Saturday, June 25th and 26th. And then option 3 was a one-day series, simply just having a series of exhibition games on Saturday, June 26th. Well, our board obviously felt that option 1, the traditional thing we've always done, wouldn't work. We just don't know as far as vaccines and things, where we're at and where we will be at that. And there's just too many moving parts. Planning has actually already started for the All-Star Series. It started back in November. And so to be able to tell folks that we're gonna run a traditional series and put everybody together it's just something we can't do. So what we decided to do is go with a modified series. We're going to bring people together on Friday, and we're going to play through Saturday night. And we're going to have a lot of games. We're going to have a lot of fun. And we're going to bring as many people together as we can at that time, safe, socially distanced, and will be masks possibly. We don't know with our crystal ball at this point what that's going to look like, but we want to plan for something that we can do and we feel we can do safely. Like Ryan had a team last summer. I coached a team last summer at the beginning of all this, and so we know that there's protocols you have to follow, and whether there's waivers, masking, distancing, we'll do whatever it takes. And that's what our board felt was we'll do whatever it takes to make sure we're honoring our class of 2021. So what we're looking at doing is through our team committees, the South led by Rick Zolner, the North led by Billy Kinnunen, the Metro South led by Rob Walsh, Ricky Michael leading the Metro East, Todd Spranker with the Metro North, and Jared Mountain with the Metro West. They're going to have their committee meetings like we've always done. Well, I shouldn't say like we've always done. It could be Zoom. We don't know. What we had typically done is had Selection Sunday, either at Target Field or at a place where people can come together and had a nice time to be able to meet, promote the players that were put into the series, give them a chance to share teams and talk about who's on what team. It's kind of a big deal. The only thing we're missing maybe is Fox Sports North to be able to promote that thing for us. But we would have a big to do at Target Field and select our teams. And you would get hundreds. We get a lot of nominations, up to 200, 210 nominations for 6 teams. And so obviously what we're going to have to do now is take a look at Maybe the North has a Zoom meeting, or they are able to get together socially distanced somewhere. It may not necessarily be on Selection Sunday. It could be a Tuesday night. It's really going to be up to Billy up north, just as it would be up to Rick down south. So look for information from one of the 6 selection chairs. If you don't know if your school or what school, where you're located in terms of whether in the Metro East or West, Metro South, Metro North, or the North and South, you can look on the website and it'll give you a team breakdown as to where your school would be placed. So, and if you have any recommendations or you have any suggestions on that, and maybe there is a school or two that probably could look at where they're being placed, please let me know, let Todd Spranker know. We have looked at that, tweaked that, changed that around to make it fit. So it's not we're not ruling with an iron fist here. We want to listen and help people out and make sure that people are feeling like they're placed in the right spot. So again, June 25th, June 26th, you as coaches will need to get your nominations in. That date hasn't been set yet because we don't know what our selection committee meetings will look like at this point. So, but it's typically around the May 20th point. So that gives us hopefully plenty of time to get games in, build up stats, have a chance to see who our top players are. We do look at the Division 1 and 2 signings. That's a big deal for us. It's a big deal for the kids and the coaches in the program. So we want to make sure there's good representation there. We'll go through a process led by the selection chair and committees, and they will choose their teams. That's not something that I say, hey, you have to choose this guy or you have to choose that. It's not something that Ryan as president would do. It's up to the committee. So if you ever have input, thoughts, you want to add more detail to things, your nomination, talk to your selection chairs. That's what they're there for. And the committee. And we try to have a really good, healthy dialogue on every player. And so if your kid is nominated, your player is nominated, we're going to give them their just due, try to give them the best look that we can. And there are times we have alternates. Last year, or 2 years ago, it seemed like I don't know if it was, I think it was Metro South. It seemed like every kid was pulling a muscle or breaking a bone in that last 2 weeks. We had to get to some alternates. You never know. And then there can be teams where you choose that team and there's no change, but you still need to have alternates. So if your player is chosen as an alternate, that means they just would have to be prepared to jump in at that point. So what I'd like to recommend for your players, if you have a player that's you feel will be a fine nomination type of player, a great player, you signed Division 1, Division 2, for sure you want to alert them to this. Let them know June 25th and 26th are days that they need to leave open. Now, as that goes, there will be a schedule letting them know what times their games are. They'll be playing 3 games, June 25th, 26th. We do have pitching rules so that we're not using them too much, but also we want to ask our Legion coaches and our high school coaches to communicate with those summer coaches that, hey, if somebody's supposed to pitch on Friday, please give them a little rest before that. It seems like every year there's a communication lapse there, and you can get a kid who threw Wednesday night, through 6 innings, and all of a sudden, he's trying to get ready either on Friday or Saturday, and it just doesn't have it. And it's a tough struggle. These are great hitters. These are great players. And when you give your kid a competitive advantage on that, they can show and do the best that they possibly can. So they want to be challenged and do their best with things. Big thank you to Dale Welter, Eric Welter, and Bob Repke from the Cubs, along with Chris Goodman. And of course, Denny Laufenberger has run our banquet for many years, and it's been tremendous out at Canterbury. We hope to get that going again in 2022. But like I said, by 2022, we're hoping that we are back to the traditional, everything we've always done, because we're so proud of this All-Star Series. We're so proud of the support we've received from Cambria, from Big, from the Minnesota Twins and their charitable arm of Play Ball Minnesota. There's no way we'd be able to do what we do without that support. And of course, the community support, where from the grassroots level, there's kids that have advertisements from their booster club or the local businesses or family, and that goes in the program, which we'll have again this year. It goes in the program, and that support also helps our association put on the best, we feel, the best All-Star series in the nation. We've done a lot of digging and a lot of checking, and it just seems as though we're doing things pretty well, and we appreciate all your support with that. So John Sands and Eric Olson, can't do this without you, and others. If you have any interest in volunteering, just give me a shout. I run the Twitter feed for @MSHSBCA, so just send me, I don't know what they say, slide into the DMs or whatever that is, and just let me know what you have for a message. I can certainly, or just send me an old-fashioned email or call me. I'll be glad to help you if you have anything, any type of question. No question is too beneath anybody. If you're wondering about how to register, you're at Friday night, it's 9:00, the deadline is midnight, and you're struggling, please let us know. That's what we're here for. Like I say, I'm an assistant coach. I also run a Legion program. I'm heavily involved now with the associate executive director here, and I'm here because I love doing it. Ryan's here because he loves doing this. We're all here to help. There isn't anybody who wants to say, "Oh no, you don't have your registration in by midnight, therefore your player isn't going to be looked at." That's not how we've looked at running this ever. Since 2013 that we've been doing this. I can't speak for anything that's happened before that, but we're into this pretty good now. We have a good system, and so if there's anything I can help with, that's what we're here for. Ryan, I can't think of much else other than, like I say, mark June 25th and 26th on your calendar. The games are in Chaska. Metro players, you're going to be driving back and forth. We don't have hotel accommodations set up on the north end and the south end. We have it kind of as needed, but we don't know where we're going to be at this time with COVID. We don't know exactly how vaccinations will take place. We don't have a hotel set up at this point. We're hoping that we can help find, if they need some accommodations, work with that. But at the same time, there's a liability issue too, and we want to make sure we're doing things the best we can. And number one, we want to make sure that we're helping that 2021 group of kids that lost their junior season, and we want to make sure they have a great senior season, also have a great All-Star series. So thank you, everybody. Don Gawreluk again. If there's anything I can do to help you, send me an email or give me a shout, and I'll be there to help. Thanks, Ryan.
Awesome. Thank you, Don. Appreciate all the work you do with that, and thanks for the updates as well. So, he's not kidding when he says it's one of the best All-Star countries, one of the best All-Star series, if not the best in the entire country. It's
well, one thing I was going to say with that, Ryan, is that we've looked at Texas, at California, Illinois, all the big states, New York. They tend to have a one game or a one night deal, and we've always prided ourselves on building relationships, having some sort of service element to things, and giving back, and spending time. And our coaches that have volunteered over the years to coach, the people who have been involved with the series and our selection chairs, everybody has really kind of put a vision together to make this great. And so we're really proud of it.
A lot of different entities that go into that, and it's a phenomenal experience. I know I was fortunate enough to coach in it a few years back, and easily a top 5 baseball experience in my life. So just a great job that everybody does there. Thanks, Don.
Thanks.
Okay, let's move on. Some good information there about the All-Star Series. Let's get into some award winners. We did have some award winners through our organization here for the last year for 2020. I want to run through those really quick. I know some of these have been shared through our different outlets here, but I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of who is receiving the specific honors that we take a lot of pride in handing out. So we did name a Hall of Fame class for 2020. Your Minnesota State High School Baseball Coaches Association Hall of Fame inductees in the class of 2020 are, as you see here, are as follows, and some very deserving gentlemen on this list. Darby Carlson from Maple Grove, Don Dvorak from New Prague, Gary Palm, who was over at St. Anthony Village for many years, Todd Schmeicher up at Cambridge Isani, Ken Solars from Uppsala, Swanville, and Herb Wolf down in Fairmont. Those are your Hall of Fame inductees in the class of 2020 for our organization. So congratulations to all of those fine coaches and great men. So they will be honored at our fall banquet 2021 in November that we are planning to have, and I'll talk more about that later on. And that's actually going to be kind of a pretty big induction ceremony because we weren't able to have an in-person induction ceremony this year. So we're going to have kind of back-to-back classes being honored and going in together with that. So these guys will be part of that as well. Next awards, we also named some coaches of the year last year for 2020. Even though we didn't have a season, we felt that there were some deserving guys that we can name for coaches of the year. Felt that it wasn't just tied to having a season necessarily. So your coach of the year award winners for each class are listed here. Class A coach of the year is Frank Ivanovich up in Ely. Class AA coach of the year, Mike Byer from Foley. Our 3A coach of the year is Bucky Miras at Orono, and our Class 4A coach of the year is Tony Market at Lakeville North High School. So congratulations to all four of those coaches. Outstanding guys when it comes to the game of baseball, leading young men and really just promoting our sport from within. So very deserving award winners there. Speaking of coaches, we give out every year the Rob Fornacier Assistant Coaches of the Year Award. Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's two. We gave out two for 2020. Again, this award recognizes the assistants who gave the heart and soul to their players and their programs. Our Assistant Coaches of the Year for 2020 were Chris Bashnet from Minnetonka and Mark Grubner from Eastview. So thank you, gentlemen, for everything that you do and the work you put in the roles that you have. Two great baseball guys there. If you've ever met either of those guys, they do a lot for their programs. The next award is the Jim Dimmick Retired Coaches Award for 2020, and this one has a bittersweet ring to it this year because this is the first year that we've given out the Jim Dimmick Retired Coaches Award, and we have to refer to Dimmer in the past tense. Fortunately, Dimmer passed away earlier this year in 2020, and we lost an incredible legend for the game of baseball in Minnesota. But this award will live long after Dimmer is around. So again, recognizes retired coaches who have given a great deal back to high school baseball in Minnesota. And our Jim Dimmick Retired Coaches Award winners for this year, two incredible gentlemen as well, who also have put in a lot of years and given a lot back to baseball in Minnesota. They are Jim Erzar from Deer River and Pat Collins from Chisago Lake. So congratulations to both of those guys. Very, very deserving award winners of one of our favorite awards to give out. So here we go. The Dick Seibert Award winner for 2020. Again, this is the award we give out that recognizes current long-tenured coaches who contributed to high school baseball in Minnesota. Our Dick Seibert Award winner this year is Tim Wolberg from both Anoka and Champlain Park High School. Had time at both those schools. So congratulations, Tim, on that great award. Very deserved. Our Craig Anderson Ethics in Coaches Award winner for 2020. This award recognizes a coach with high ethics standards while teaching the game of baseball, named after our executive director, Craig Anderson, longtime coach and leader of young men down Pine Island. And this year's Craig Anderson Award winner is Al Aldahl from Albany High School. Very deserving of that award. And also, little side note in there, Al was a national award winner through the BCA this year as well. The BCA Region 5 Coach of the Year. Al took home that hardware as well. So congratulations, Al. Some very deserving awards for you there. We also had another national BCA award winner from the state of Minnesota, too. I'll mention this now. But Paul Twenge, head coach at Minnetonka High School, is going into the BCA Hall of Fame here this year. So an extraordinary award for Paul, who's done so much for the game of baseball in his many years of service at a lot of different levels, but most currently at Minnetonka High School. So there we go. Angelo Giuliani Award winner for 2020. Recognizes someone who promotes high school baseball here in Minnesota, either as a media member or a scout or an umpire, or somebody outside of the coaching realm of our world. And this year, our Angelo Giuliani Award winner is Mark Wilson. Mark was an incredible voice for high school baseball in Minnesota for many, many years when he was working with the Minnesota Twins. He's no longer in that position with that organization, but he is now with the Philadelphia Phillies organization and continues to make sure that high school baseball in Minnesota gets recognized and it's everything it deserves, especially the players that are coming out of our organizations and communities now. So Mark's done a great job of that, and a very deserving award winner for the Angelo Giuliani Award for 2020. And of course, our last award is the Tink Larson Field of the Year Award that we like to give out. Obviously, we've got an unbelievable amount of great baseball facilities, ballparks within the state. We like to honor a field every year, and the award recognizes the top facility, field, or groundskeeper of the year. And this year, the award goes to Lions Field in Waconia. They've done an absolutely incredible job of growing and maintaining that field in that community of Waconia. And if you've ever been out to that field, you will see right away it is a very deserving place to be the award winner this year of the Tink Larson Field of the Year Award. So congratulations to everybody involved in Waconia baseball and that community for the work you've done and what you've built there at Lions Field. Okay, that's our awards. We're going to get into just kind of some news and notes, kind of looking forward here to the upcoming season. Not a lot of things going on, as you may well imagine, with everything that we've been dealing with and still trying to deal with here. But there are a few things. I want to remind everybody of the new NOXI rule reminder. This is something that would have went into effect last year in 2020, but since we didn't have a season, just want to make sure that everyone's still on the same page with that. It started last year. What it essentially is every game ball that we use and every, as it's written in the rule, chest/body protection, which mainly for us is chest protectors, needs to be stamped with the NOXI approval verification. This rule is in effect again for 10th grade on up, so 10th grade JV varsity. Your 9th graders do not fall under this rule because 9th grade isn't officially under the umbrella of the state high school league. So any old game balls that you haven't used yet that don't have that stamp on them, you can use them in 9th grade games or use them for pregame stuff, use them for throwing bullpens and practice and things like that. But 10th grade on up's got to have that stamp on that ball. Any questions with that or any of the other rules that may be coming up down the road or anything like that, just want to remind everyone, you go to the National Federation website, nfhs.org, for any rule updates and clarifications. Really simple, go to that website, select at the top activities and sports, go down and select baseball, and it'll give you all the information you need there. Okay? Other notes to mention, our advisory board here within our organization, we have an annual meeting every year with the State High School League in mid-February, and we have that date in the books now. We'll be meeting with them here in about a month, and it's a good time to sit down and kind of get everybody on page within our organization and the high school league. They're very receptive to our needs and things that we feel are going to be best for the game of baseball at the high school level here in Minnesota. It's a really good time to get together and talk about what's next and what needs to be done to help continue to grow our game. The discussion items that we're going to focus on when we meet here in a month with them, with the high school league. A lot of it, as you can probably imagine, is going to be focused on the upcoming season, protocols, and things like that. I'm going to show you some of the important dates for the season here in just a second. One of the things you'll notice is there's some possibly some questions when it comes to section tournaments as far as length. So we're going to talk about that, length of tournaments, length in between section tournaments and state tournaments. Make sure we get some updates on the state tournament for you as well. I'll give you those dates in just a second. But that's going to be a big part of what we talk about with them when we meet with them here. We always seem to talk about some rule changes and things like that, or kind of what are the next pressing issues, or what are the things that may be coming down from the National Federation that we need to be aware of as well. But really, that talk and those things have been limited, as you can probably imagine. It's just kind of a tricky thing right now with all the COVID focus going on, which is where it should be. But so not a lot to report on that. But we will definitely get information out after we meet with them, any changes or anything like that, and keep you updated on what was discussed and where the high school league is at as well. So looking forward to that meeting. It's always a good meeting every year we have with them, and the timing of it this year is going to be very good because we got a lot of things to talk about for the upcoming season. So I want to keep everyone updated as far as what's going on there. Here's those dates for the 21 season. You may have seen these by now, may have heard of these, whatever, but this is what we have as of right now. Now, does this mean these are set in stone? No, but we have a pretty good chance of this happening. There's not a lot of talk of things that would change this, but the start of our season got pushed back a week because of the extension of the winter sports season here by the high school league. And really, I don't know that there's a whole lot of people within our organization that look at that as a bad thing. I think that's actually a better thing, that we can start a little bit later with everything, play more games in May when the weather's better, have more opportunities to be outside at the beginning of the season practicing, all of that stuff. So you can see the dates there. The arm care week got bumped down to a March 22nd start, which means the following Monday, March 29th, will be the first official day of practice. That pushes the start of the first contest date to Thursday, April 8th. So no games before Thursday, April 8th, which, again, not a terrible thing at all. And then the end of the regular season would then be that Saturday, May 29th, which, of course, is Memorial Day weekend, Memorial Day being Monday, May 31st this year, later in May than what we typically experience. But that day will also be the beginning right now, the way it's listed, of sectional play. Again, this is something we're gonna talk about, and again, not completely set in stone. And obviously, when it comes to sectional play, there is a little bit of a difference between Class A and AA and how sections need to be run there, and with Class 3A and 4A. With all of Class 4A having no more than 8 teams in a section, majority of Class 3A being the same way. Don't necessarily need as much time to get a section tournament played. And so we're going to look at making some of those adjustments. And really, when you look at the next line there, Monday, June 7th, the last day of sectional play, and then Wednesday, June 6th being the start of the state tournament, that's a pretty big gap in between there, and that's a concern for us. And that's definitely something that we're going to we're going to discuss with the high school league as well. 9 days between the end of a section tournament and maybe even longer if a section tournament gets done before the 7th, and then the start of the state tournament. In the past, the high school league has liked a decent amount of time in between because they have to get information out, gather information from teams, put programs and things like that together. They've already shared with us that they're not doing programs for state tournaments anymore. So the need to have that time in between now is kind of gone. And so we get to this point at the end of May, beginning of June, and teams are playing quite a bit. We're playing baseball. We're used to playing every day. It's not like football where we just play once a week. We're used to playing every day. Being out there and getting things done. There's no reason why we have to sit around, at least in our view, for 9 days between the end of a section tournament and the start of a state tournament. We can extend those section tournaments maybe a little bit further along, decrease that gap between those two tournaments, and really make the ability to play our game in good weather, in good circumstances, a lot better. And so it's just one of the areas we're looking at as far as making baseball the best it can be in Minnesota within these current circumstances. Obviously, the Class A and 2A section tournaments are going to need a little bit more length and time than 3A and 4A will, but I think this is also a good, important first step to getting some more uniformity within our section tournaments. Baseball section tournaments are still one of the only section tournaments that really are kind of all over the board, depending on what section you're in as far as how they're played. And we're looking to really kind of shore that up a little bit too. So this is a good first step with that as well. All right. State tournament dates, Wednesday, June 16th, Thursday, June 17th for our quarterfinals, semifinals, and consolation rounds and third place games. The championship games then will be played at Target Field again this year, Saturday, June 19th. That date is locked up. And we do have a rain date also of the following Monday, the 21st. So if we can't get them in on Saturday, the 19th, can't play on Sunday, but we'll play them on Monday, the 21st. Okay. So any questions with that, obviously let us know. And like I said, that's kind of what you can expect. The section tournament stuff may be changing a little bit. So hopefully. I had mentioned the fall clinic earlier. We are in the mindset now that we are going to be back together, experiencing a fall clinic in person in the fall of 2021 in November. For those of you who remember, we moved our date back. This virtual clinic that we're doing now, our real in-person clinic was supposed to happen in November this year. Obviously, couldn't do it that way. And so our plan is to continue to have our fall clinic in that second weekend in November or the third weekend. I'll get to that in a second. And the plan is to continue to go with our new idea that we started last year, which was working with the Vikings and their Omni Hotel setup that they have there on the new Vikings campus in Eagan, if you will. It's a phenomenal facility. Lots of perks that go along with that too. Should be pretty cool, and we're looking to finally get that thing going in there this upcoming November. Okay. The reason why the date for the fall clinic is not set in stone yet is we have to wait for the Vikings schedule to come out for next year. The Vikings have expressed to us that they would prefer not to host our clinic on a weekend when the Vikings are in town. There's just a lot more hustle and bustle that's going around on the campus there when there's a home game versus when the team is heading out on the road that weekend. So the Vikings schedule will not be announced until it's usually announced, first, second week of April. And so when that schedule gets announced, we'll look at that. And if that date of Friday, November 12th and Saturday, November 13th is a date when the Vikings are on the road, then that's going to be our date. Okay. If the Vikings happen to be at home that weekend, then we have a backup date of the following weekend, which would be Friday the 19th and Saturday the 20th. We got rid of the Sunday portion of the clinic, and we made it a 2 full days. If you remember, that was something that we added as well, or changed as well, heading into last year. So it will be a full day on Friday and a full day on Saturday. And we'll wrap up the festivities within our Hall of Fame banquet Saturday night, and that will be the end of things. So no carryover into Sunday. We're going to get a full day Friday and a full day Saturday, and it should be an awesome experience. My favorite weekend of the year. It has been for many, many years. I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you guys coming up next fall in November. All right. So let me know if you have any questions with that as well. A couple reminders on association memberships. Again, we encourage every coach and every baseball coach in Minnesota to become a member of our organization. I know a lot of you viewing this are. There may be some that aren't. You may have some of your assistant coaches that aren't. We encourage everyone to become a member of our association. There's a lot of benefits that come with that. Head coaches have to be a member of our association in order for you guys, your teams and your players to receive our awards and stuff like that as well. We also encourage all of our coaches to join the Minnesota State Coaches Association. The protection and member benefits that organization offers for our coaches and everything that they do for our profession is great. They're a great organization, incredibly well run, and they take care of us. So we encourage everyone to do that as well. National memberships are also a great idea. I know a lot of coaching colleagues and things like that are also members of the BCA and or the ABCA. So we always encourage guys to do that. They do great things for baseball coaches all across the country, great resources, all that stuff. So there you go. Some communications. reminders and some things with questions. Social media is a big thing for our organization. Don was talking earlier about the All-Star Series. He did mention that he does run the Twitter feed for our organization. Again, it's at MSHSBCA on Twitter. He throws up a lot of good stuff in there, a lot of good reminders, a lot of just kind of anecdotal things every once in a while too. It's a great follow, whether you're big into Twitter or not. It's you get a lot of information there and reach out to Don very quickly that way. Talk to Tink about receiving updates via email. If you're not, Tink is one of our communication gurus and sends out a lot of information for us. Does a great job of keeping everybody in the state within the game of baseball updated and informed for us. Very valuable aspect of the many things that he does for us. And obviously our website. www.mshsbca.org, our website. Go there for updates, for news. One thing Don didn't mention that he does is he's been doing podcasts since last spring. Did a few of them last spring, fired up a few more this fall. The links to all the podcasts that he's done are up there, and new ones that he will be doing will be on there as well. He also throws information about those podcasts on that Twitter account as well. The biggest thing with the website, though, is the award recognition stuff, the nomination forms, the dates for when those forms are due, and to get all those things in to honor your teams, honor your guys. That's all on our website as well. So everything now is all nomination deadlines, all nominations itself are all done online. Also registering your players for the Junior Showcase, nominations for the Play Ball All-Star Series, all that stuff, all on the website. So that website's a good one to make yourself familiar with, because a lot of the things that we do through our organization run through that website. Questions or concerns, as previously stated, feel free to reach out to myself or anybody on our executive board or advisory board with questions, concerns as they arise. Okay. The emails you saw from the list I showed you earlier are right on the website for everybody to contact everybody. And just wanted to remind everyone that, one of our big goals here is to make sure that we are here for a couple of reasons, as you can see on the bottom there. One, to make baseball in Minnesota the best it can be. And two, and probably most importantly, to make sure that all our coaches are heard, all of you are supported and taken care of. So if there's things that come up, we highly encourage you to reach out to somebody. Maybe if you don't know me and not comfortable with coming to me, somebody on our board. But even if you don't know me, I'd love for you to reach out so we can get your questions and concerns answered and taken care of. That's our goal, and that's what we're here for. We work for all of you guys, and so we don't want any hesitation when questions and concerns come up, or even just ideas about maybe how we can do things better, or things coming down the road too. So anything, we're here for you guys. We're willing to listen and do the legwork for you through our organization anytime we get the chance. All right, almost done here. Some final thoughts as we wrap things up here. Number one, this whole virtual clinic thing has been obviously a new endeavor for us and an interesting endeavor. And we've had some sponsors that have stepped up and really supported this in some ways. And we want to make sure that we give them the recognition and really encourage you guys to support these sponsors. We had 9 of them that became virtual clinic sponsors for us this year. They're listed below. PBR, the Prep Baseball Report's done a lot of great things as far as recognition of our players here in the state of Minnesota. They've continued to really help grow the game of high school baseball in Minnesota as well. All-Star Trophy and Awards, we do a lot of work through them. They support us, and they are great at getting things done the way we want them and when we want them. We were able to give the St. Paul Saints a great recognition plaque for what they did for the senior salute this year at the end of their regular season. Myself and a couple of our board members went down and presented the Saints with this incredible plaque in the shape of a home plate, thanking them with different logos on it. And that was all made made possible by All-Star Trophy and Awards. They did a great job with that. Infinity Hitting Tees is another good company that has taken care of us. They've got a great product out there. Nicholson Athletics, AIM Electronics as well. Big Athletics, who's done a ton for our organization for many years now. DK Baseball, the Breakdown. Publication, and then of course the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, the FCA, who's always been a part of what we've done as well, and just an outstanding organization in their own right. So please support those sponsors if you get the opportunity. That's all we have. Again, just want to thank you for supporting this new format for us. We're pretty proud of what we put together. We're pretty proud of the coaches that we've got to be part of this, and how we've kind of created and made this come about, so we can get you guys a clinic in whatever the best form that we can do it in this year. Like I said, our clinic usually in person on a weekend has always been one of my favorite weekends of the year. We weren't able to do that this year, but I think this is a pretty good consolation prize. So we want to thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for supporting it. And remember, if there's people who are not watching this now who didn't register for this, they can still register to view all of these unbelievable speakers that we have. Pass along that information to them. We're going to take registrations after this thing is over. So thank you for doing that. And please enjoy the rest of the clinic. We hope it's great. We hope it's as great as what we think it is for each and every one of you as well. And last, but definitely not least, we wish all of you great success in the upcoming year in 2021 as we get back to some normalcy here with the great game of baseball in our wonderful state. So with that, thank you, and hopefully we'll see you down the road, and good luck. Thanks, guys.